If you were one of the unfortunate folks that lived in California right in the path of the wildfires that happened, or if you were in New Orleans during the time of Hurricane Katrina, I'm very sorry. And you could tell us that it was awful, that news like that is devastating, and it just rocks you to your core. However, when you get bad news like that and things are coming in that you just can't control, the best thing that you could hope for is some good news. However, if you were in Katrina and you happened to be in New Orleans and the forecast said, golly, guys, sorry, we're going to get about 2 weeks more of rain. The skies are going to be overcast and there's going to be about 10 more inches of precipitation. That would have been the worst thing you could have possibly heard. But let's flip the script. If you were one of those poor souls in California wildfire regions and you got that same news, 2 weeks of heavy precipitation, about 10 inches worth, that was welcome news. It was the best news you've had in quite some time. It would assist in putting out those blazing wildfires that the hardworking firefighters were struggling with. But what changed? It was the exact same news. Everything changed because the perspective of the listener has a lot to do with whether news is good, bad, or just neutral. The Bible says that the gospel is euangelion in Greek, and that translates to good news. Many of you have heard that. Many of you know that gospel means good news. Well, it does. But news is only good if you have something to contrast it against. So when we neuter the gospel of its offense and we don't tell the lost that they are indeed lost and that God is angry with sinners every single day, as it says in Psalm chapter 7, verse 11, then we don't do them anything but a disservice. They need to know how dire the circumstances truly are so that they can hear the good news of the gospel and see it for what it is, indeed good news. So we hurt ourselves when we do this. Now, right here, I have a bander. Some of you will know what this is, others of you don't, so let me explain. This is something you use to castrate bulls. You could use it on goats or other livestock as well. But you slip a heavy gauge rubber band on this, you open it up, you put their testicles in it, and you close it over. That rubber band will cut off the blood supply to the testicles, and over the next few days, they'll rot off because that's what happens when there's no blood flow. When we neuter the gospel, much this way, and we cut off the blood supply, but the sweet blood in this case is Jesus Christ's blood that he shed on the cross, and we don't let the blood actually be applied to the sin of people's lives, we castrate the gospel. And while a steer may be pretty impressive to look at, and they're still gorgeous, and they still have a lot of the power that a bull has, there is one thing they can't do, and that's reproduce. So let's keep the gospel the way it was intended to be, and that's full of juice.